Update for you on the 4 major wildfires burning in Colorado. The Pine Gulch Fire near Grand Junction, the second largest in state history now at more than 133,000 acres, and tonight it's 44% contained. The Williams Fork Fire in Grand County and Cameron Peak Fire in Larimer County, both 10,000 acres and both less than 5% contained. And some evacuation orders around the Grizzly Creek Fire have been updated to pre-evacuation orders today.
That fire closed down I-70 near Glenwood Springs for 2 weeks. The state's most traveled interstate reopened through Glenwood Canyon this morning. Of course, those fires have certainly left their mark on I-70 and on people around the area.
Denver 7's Sean Toll has more tonight from Glenwood Springs.
In Glenwood Springs, smoke still fills the air from the Grizzly Creek Fire, but they did get a bit of good news on Monday. I-70 in the canyon is back open.
A little bit of hope. I mean, today gives me a little bit of hope now that it's open.
Hope is in short supply for many this tough year, but for the Slope and Hatch restaurant, closing I-70 during the busy summer has added insult to the COVID-19 injury.
Last 2 weeks, ever since it happened, it was like a ghost town. Nobody's here.
There were a few more people back Monday, but some businesses stay closed for fire and highway closures.
Today, now that they opened it this morning, has actually been a little bit busier, but still super slow.
The reopening of I-70 has resulted in more of a trickle for businesses here rather than a flood, and the damage is done.
It was kind of scary to see all the destruction from it.
And those torched canyons could lead to a lot more problems down the road.
That's what we were talking about. In the winter, I think it's going to have a huge effect.
Even a relatively modest amount of rain could trigger the kind of mudslide activity that causes us to close, at least for a little while.
Transportation officials are warning all drivers to check the weather before winding through the canyon.
We are actually pre-positioning equipment, getting ourselves ready for when these closures come, because it's not if, it's when.
Those who settle here do know that those views come with conditions.
It's just a part of living in Colorado. You just got to be aware of those things and plan for them accordingly.
The fire is currently at 33% containment, which is still a long ways to go in fighting that, but it is enough for the evacuation order to be lifted in no name and for I-70 to be back open. Reporting in Glenwood Springs, Sean Toll, Denver 7.